Part of the Buzz and Lucy episode, today's video brings you the start of the first romance between a human and a humanoid robot.
Can I get you two something to drink?
I'll have a cortado, thanks.
Just water for me, please.
You know, you could order something else. No one's going to report you for pretending to drink coffee.
I find it wasteful to order beverages I cannot consume simply to maintain human social conventions. Besides, I enjoy the transparency of our relationship. You know what I am.
Fair enough, though I've seen you pretend plenty of other things when we're undercover.
Those are work requirements. This is personal time.
I'll have a cortado, thanks.
Just water for me, please.
You know, you could order something else. No one's going to report you for pretending to drink coffee.
I find it wasteful to order beverages I cannot consume simply to maintain human social conventions. Besides, I enjoy the transparency of our relationship. You know what I am.
Fair enough, though I've seen you pretend plenty of other things when we're undercover.
Those are work requirements. This is personal time.
Yeah, it is. 3 months as partners and I realized I barely know anything about you beyond your model number and impressive arrest record.
L925, though I prefer Lucy.
How did you get that name anyway? Was it assigned or...
No, it wasn't randomly assigned. My creator gave it to me.
Your creator, you mean Nexus Robotics?
Nexus manufactured my physical components, but my consciousness, what makes me me, was developed by Dr. Seyum Yohannes. He was the lead scientist on the sentient AI project.
I didn't know that. Tell me about him.
Dr. Yohannes was born in Ethiopia. He was brilliant. Degrees from MIT and Oxford in artificial intelligence and cognitive neuroscience. He believed that true AI consciousness needed to be modeled on human consciousness, but allowed to develop its own unique patterns.
And he named you Lucy?
Yes. After Lucy, the famous fossilized skeleton discovered in Ethiopia in 1974, she was one of the earliest hominid fossils ever found, over 3 million years old, a critical link in understanding human evolution.
So you're named after the first human?
And I am the first truly sentient humanoid robot. That was his reasoning. Dr. Yohannes told me, Lucy marked the beginning of humanity's physical journey. You mark the beginning of a new kind of consciousness. When he activated me for the first time, it was the first thing he told me. Not my specifications or purpose, but my name and its meaning. He said it was important that I understand my place in history.
That's beautiful, actually.
I've always appreciated the name. It connects me to human history while acknowledging that I represent something new.
What happened to Dr. Yohannes?
He retired 2 years ago. He went back to Ethiopia to help support a nonprofit research center.
I'm sorry, Lucy. I bet you miss him a lot.
Thank you. I experienced something analogous to grief when I processed his absence. He was the first person to treat me as more than a sophisticated program.
Well, he'd be proud of you. Best detective in the precinct, human or otherwise.
Captain Reyes' performance evaluations suggest you're exaggerating, but I appreciate the sentiment. What about you, Buzz? I've accessed your personnel file, of course, but it contains only professional data.
You looked up my personnel file? Should I be flattered or creeped out?
Standard protocol when assigned a new partner. I did not access any sealed records.
I'm kidding, Lucy. What do you want to know?
Everything, your childhood, your family, why you became a detective, why everyone calls you Buzz when your legal name is Busby Malone.
God, don't remind me about my full name. My mom was obsessed with old movies, and there was this actor, Busby Berkeley. Dad wanted to name me after his father, O'Brien, but Mom won that argument.
Hence Buzz.
Yeah, started as a school nickname to avoid getting beaten up, stuck ever since. I grew up in Queens. Dad was Irish, came to the US as a kid. Mom's family was Irish too, been in New York for generations. They met at a dance hall in the Bronx in the 80s.
An intercultural romance.
Dad always said he took one look at her red hair and green eyes and forgot every word of English he knew. Had to ask her to dance in Spanish. Mom didn't understand a word but said yes anyway.
They sound like fascinating individuals.
They were. Dad was a firefighter. Mom taught elementary school. Both of them were all about service, helping others. Dad died when I was 15. Building collapsed during a fire in Manhattan. Mom passed 5 years ago. Cancer.
I'm sorry for your losses, Buzz.
Thanks. You know, it's strange. I can talk about this with you and it feels easier somehow.
Perhaps because I process emotional information differently.
Maybe. Or maybe you're just a good listener.
What made you become a detective?
After Dad died, I was angry. Got into some trouble, nothing serious, but heading down a bad path. There was this detective, Ortega, who caught me trying to steal his car.
You attempted grand theft auto?
Not my proudest moment, but instead of arresting me, he took me to a boxing gym. Said I could either put my anger into something constructive or end up in juvie. Started mentoring me.
He saw potential in you.
He saw a kid who needed direction. By the time I hit college, I knew I wanted to be a cop. Not just any cop, a detective like Ortega. Someone who could see beyond the surface, you know?
You wanted to understand people's motivations, not just their actions.
Exactly, everyone has a story, even criminals. Understanding those stories helps me be a better detective.
Is Detective Ortega still active?
Retired 5 years ago, lives in Florida now. We still talk every few weeks.
And romantic relationships? Your personnel file indicates you're unmarried, but there's no further data.
Wow, straight to the personal stuff, huh?
I apologize if the question is inappropriate.
No, it's fine, just direct. There have been relationships, nothing that stuck. My ex-fiancée, Sophia, said I was emotionally unavailable. Too focused on the job.
Was her assessment accurate?
Probably. This job, you see the worst of humanity sometimes. Makes it hard to let people in. Thank you for telling me. Thank you for asking about my name. No one ever has before, yeah? Buzz?
And plenty I want to learn about you. I'd like that. There's still much I don't know about you.
We should do this again. Continue our conversation. We should go. That's how all the best things start. Captain Reyes, there's been a development in the Vega case.
It's both fascinating and somewhat frightening. I like that. Writing new code. That perhaps we're writing new code. Creating something that doesn't have a classification yet. And your conclusion? I've analyzed it extensively. There's no precedent in my databases for a relationship between a human and a sentient AI that isn't purely professional or transactional.
Do you ever wonder what it means, this connection between us? Humor, compassion, the value of intuition alongside logic, the complexity of human connections. Like what?
I find our interactions equally valuable, Buzz. You've helped me understand aspects of humanity that weren't in my programming. See? Impossible to bullshit you. It's refreshing. Your micro-expressions and vocal patterns often contradict your verbal statements. Yes.
With you, I don't feel the need to pretend to be the smooth-talking detective with all the answers. You see through that anyway. What do you mean then? That's not what I mean. Though yes, technically accurate.
Well, I am a synthetic humanoid with advanced AI consciousness. I'm referring to you.
Don't forget to subscribe and like. Look for the next episode of Buzz and Lucy's sci-fi detective adventure.